Girl, you done made me sit up now.
Speechless? Why you speechless?
I just said because it's like I'm like with a celebrity couple right now. Like,
Oh my God! Get out of here. Get out.
hey, everyone. Welcome to Fire Talk. Welcome to Fire Talk. Episode 9, I believe. I'm losing track. I'm gonna have to make sure I go back and count. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, we are going to get started. I'm gonna, also my mom will be joining me tonight, so hopefully she pops on soon. I did want to just get started because Legacy has already been a little baby, and I don't know how much time I'm gonna get on here. So I said, let me just get started in case my time is limited. And so, welcome. When you come in, could you please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel? Hopefully, you will find the link. I should have put it in the comments, but I'll make sure I do it before the live is over, if not after. Also, it would be great if you guys could watch from YouTube because YouTube views matter more than Facebook views. And so please make sure if you can watch on YouTube, and also if you watch on YouTube, you can minimize YouTube, listen, and do other things. And so thank you. I did get a new phone, so I mean, I didn't get an upgrade, but I got a new phone because my old phone was cracked and the screen was falling off. So I'm happy I got a new phone. But yeah, if I move a little slower, just bear with me while I'm still trying to navigate through some things. Okay, so let me do an introduction. Okay, so for this episode, so once again, or maybe not once again, but if you guys don't know that decided to call the show Fire Talk because, you know, conversations get a little hot when you're talking about things that, um, talking about those things that are hard to talk about. And so that's why I called it Fire Talk. And so how I've been coming up with these topics, I'll just kind of like find my viewpoint of things. I'll post it. I might post it in a way to I'm not going to say trigger, but to make or engage or to have the audience want to engage into the topic, by the way that I word the post. And so I did post a topic or status, and it did get some engagement. And then I said usually those are going to be the post, or those are going to be the topics that become an episode on Fire Talk. So here we are on episode 9, and we are going to go over a post that I posted a few days ago. And so this episode is entitled who hosted or who is responsible for the hookup culture. I do think this is a very, very important topic. I think it's very important. And so my mission here, by the time we get off this live, is to let women know that they're valuable and powerful, and so is your body. And by engaging in the hookup culture, you're kind of devaluing yourself and the reason why the hookup culture is continuing. And so let's get started. I do want to see if not necessarily wait till I get any viewers, but since I'm on a new phone, I kind of want to make sure everything is working fine. If you could just give me a few seconds. Um, okay, looks like everything is working fine. I shared it to the places I need to share. Let me go ahead and get this YouTube link real quick. And once I post that, then we will get started. So we are going to go to share, copy link, Facebook, and share or comment to the live. Let me turn this down and paste it. Did that pop up? Okay, that popped up. And I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off. If I'm being heard. Hello, hello, hello. Let me see. I can't hear myself. Why can't I hear myself? Okay, I can hear myself. I can hear myself. Okay. So let me pull up. I don't know why it's not showing me anything on here, but this is what I did not like. Hold on. Ooh. Because I cannot see on here. And so let me just pull this back up. Add to the stage. Hey mother.
Hi, beautiful. How are
How
you?
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you testing?
What do you want me to do?
Okay, I could hear you. I was just making sure I could hear you good.
Here I am.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. How you feel?
I feel good. Thanks for asking. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Yeah, I missed you last time, but here we are.
Yes. No, you were here last time.
You know what? We were together. It's just been a minute, huh?
Yeah, it's been a minute since we started together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Okay,
then it was a few days in between since I went live last time.
okay, okay. I like that then. I like the space in between.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, thank you. Plus, my phone was messing up, so I had to wait till I got a new phone. I was looking on here and I can't see something on my page, so I'm gonna go out real quick. Um, oops. And I'm gonna just be right back in, but you should still be up here.
You know me, I'll be here. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but I do have to excuse myself for 1 second. I just want to get some. Ah, I'm trying to work with different material. And this is a wire, but I don't know if this is the right wire I should have got. So we'll see.
Okay, I'm back and I could see now what I was looking for. So okay, so she stepped away for a second. So we are going to get started. Let me just say again that my mission for this episode is for women to understand and see that they are valuable, and so is your body. And by partaking in the hookup culture, we can devalue some things, or we can devalue ourselves. And if we continue to participate in the hookup culture, we just kind of encouraging it to still happen. And so I do think that it's some changes that need to be made with that. And we're just gonna go on with that. And then in the meantime, mother, in this topic, I have some vocabulary words that we're gonna go over as well.
Well, you better hope I know the meaning of those.
Well, that's why we're gonna go over them so we just don't, miss anything. And
All
so let me start off with first. Anything you want to say, Mother?
right. No, let's get to it. Let's get to
Yes.
it.
So this was a post that you also had commented on as well, Mother. And so once the post started getting several comments, I kind of just stopped replying and then figure out if I'm going to make it into a topic or not, and then basically just give my answer on live so I won't have to, write as much. So the topic or post that we are going off today is, who do you all think is responsible for the hookup culture, men or women? And before we dive into this topic, I wanted to say this is not about really putting the blame on one or the other, but this is about one person choosing, holding one accountable, because once we're able to hold one accountable for certain actions and behaviors, then we can do better at how we are controlling it or how we handling it, if we, pushing it or if we eliminating it. So I do think that, we got to kind of find out who is the accountability on, just so we can make a change or start to change some things around. And so for this post, only a few people have responded and they said both. And then I broke it down.
I was part of the both.
You were part of the both.
Part of the both. I do believe that. Well, I'll let you finish first. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
Go ahead, tell me what you. Well, actually, yeah. Go ahead, tell me why do you feel it's both? No, actually, can we go into the hookup culture right quick and what is it exactly?
Yes.
Okay. So the hookup culture is the ideal of young people, or I would say really people, engaging in sex without dating.
Hmm.
So that is the hookup culture, engaging in sex without dating. So you have no intentions on dating, you have no intentions on starting a relationship or getting married. You are hooking up for sex. So that is the hookup culture. Okay, so now you want to go on and tell me why you said both?
Well, there's a couple of reasons I say both. First of all, it takes two to tango.
Hmm.
Second, both people could go in openly, knowing that they're not looking for a relationship. They're just looking for one thing, and they're both fine with that. Um, and I don't know if I necessarily would say that one person is more responsible for it than the other, because I do believe that it would be a mutual agreement. Like they're both open about it. Like, I've heard guys before who say that, you know, hey, they already know. They already know what it is. As long as they know what it is and they cool with it, then I'm cool with it. And some
Okay.
people, some females feel the same way. Hey, he already know I ain't looking for nothing serious. I don't want to be in a relationship right now. Sometimes I do want to kick it, want to hang out, want to have fun. It is what it is. If we do something, it ain't nothing serious, but I don't want to be out here with just anybody and everybody either. So I'll hook up with this person once in a while.
Okay. That's interesting that you said that, because I believe that's the way that a lot of people are handling the hookup culture, or a lot of people are hooking up nowadays. That didn't happen in the earlier days. Um, do you know when the hookup culture became popular?
I don't. Um, I didn't know it was a such thing as being popular, because I think it's always been around.
Yes, it has been around since about the early 1920s. They started calling it the hookup culture. However, it happened more starting in the 1960s after, guess what happened in 1950s?
What?
In the 1950s, it was the sexual liberation or the sexual revolution. And so it says, In the 1960s, the United States underwent a sexual revolution. The revolution, I'm sorry, this is so small, was a social and cultural movement that resulted in liberalized attitudes toward sex and morality. Social norms were changing as sex became more widely discussed in society. Exotic media such as films, magazines, and books became more popular and gained widespread attention nationally. Sex was entering the public domain. Throughout history, the United States has undergone waves of feminism in response to the needs and wants during the time. The introduction of the pill and the second wave feminism allowed women to take control over their bodies and sexuality. Women using the pill could engage in sex with a lower risk of pregnancy. The revolution allowed women to rediscover their traditional and sex roles ascribed to them. Women's liberation movements sought to free women from social and moral, I can't see, OMG. I don't know how I can't make it bigger or anything. Social and moral confines. While women were rediscovering themselves, the gay rights movement was gaining the public eye. Public demonstrations and protests to challenge discrimination against sexuality occurred. While the movement did not begin to soar until the Stonewall riots of 1969, many still celebrate homosexuality during this time. So basically, the sexual liberation or the sexual revolution basically uh let women move more freely. They had the birth control pill now they can have sex without without the risk. Now they could eliminate the risk of getting pregnant because they had the birth control the pill. And so the hookup culture um The hookup culture is a trend that started with more recent generations, but is actually believed to have begun in the 1920s when traditional courtship declined and people of different genders began interacting with each other socially more often. Casual hookups blossomed in the 1960s and through the 1980s. During the sexual revolution, when there were newly accepted ideals and beliefs, greater accessibility to birth control, and better sex ed, and the rise of feminism. Then it surged again with the addition of dating apps. So you also have dating apps that also help with the hookup culture because you on dating apps, you swiping left, you swiping right, you choosing to meet people and possibly hook up with them. So that's just a new part of technology adding as well. Hey, Dream Nails by Tasha, thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. She said very informative. Antoinette, hey Antoinette, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, Mama. So now that we went over the hookup culture, you explained why you felt like it was both. You felt like it was both. Okay, so can I ask you this because you said that it takes two to tango, and two people can go into the hookup culture or to go into a situation with agreeing that this is strictly just for hooking up. Okay, so let's say, you got two people going into it with that mindset that is strictly hooking up. When it all comes down to it, who who is really making it happen, or who has control over if it's happening or not?
When you say who has control over it, when if it happens or not, are you saying that? Are you asking me by me being a woman that I can say no, I don't want to do it?
I
Is that
mean,
me?
you tell me.
Because well, it could be both. Because well, It could be either or, I think. I think mainly it would be the lady who would be able to opt out of it if she changed her mind. Because if she changed her mind, then the guy would be able to move forward.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I guess so. We just gonna go into a couple questions, and these are some of the questions I asked on the post. Who holds the key to sex?
Who holds the key to sex?
Yes. Does the man? Does the male or the female?
Well, I think that could be answered that they both do. However, I do think that women, well, let me rephrase that. I do think that some of us like the idea of being pursued when it
Mm,
comes to that. And then some of us naturally like being sexually active. So,
okay.
hey, I think that women also pursue men as well.
Okay.
So I hope I answered the question the way you meant to ask. I hope I understood that the way you meant it.
No, you did. You answered it fine. And so, honestly, or so in my opinion, who holds the key to sex is the woman. And I say that because a woman literally, like literally. Oh, yeah, let me get. Hey, Salima. She says, "Hey, beautiful ladies. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make
Who
sure you guys. What you say, Ma? You went in and out.
can't see who's all here. So can you tell everybody I said hello and what it is?
Yeah, so the when I see them pop in, I put their comment on the screen so then you could see who it is when they pop when I put the comment on the screen.
Make sure you tell everybody I said hello.
They could hear you, mother.
Oh, okay. I just can't. Okay. Hey, everybody. Okay,
You're
forgive me.
so funny. Okay, so women hold the key to sex. Why do I say that? Because literally a woman literally has to open her legs for the man to want to have sex, to enter. She literally a man cannot have sex with a woman unless she grants him access. Like, we're not talking about any foul play being involved or anything wrong happening or something happening by force. We're because of course those things are horrible, bad, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about the ones who are engaging in sex and giving consent. A man cannot get sex from a woman unless she gives consent. They have a saying that says that a woman can have sex with who she wants, but a man can only have sex with who he can. So, do you know that? Hold on, let me pull up my statistics. Do you know that?
Listen to all right.
Man, where are my
That's
thank
how
you.
I was looking for my supplies to make jewelry. I'm like, where's all my stuff at? Because I'm a little
Yeah, I'm a little no, but the thing is, I wrote okay. I'm a little I think I just wrote my notes a little bit all over the place. And so you have 90% of women who procreate at one time when they took statistics. I should have got the years, but I didn't. I'm sorry. I will go back and get that. 90% of women procreated and 40% of men procreated. Do you know what that means? Why do you, if it's 90% women procreated and 40% men procreated, what does that say? Why is the number so much larger for women if they're having sex with men, but men is like almost half the percentage?
because the woman agreed to it more.
Well, it's basically like there's a lot of women having sex with the same men. Most women are attracted to the same men, the same percentage of men. So there was a statistic that said women find 90% of men unattractive, and
What?
men find 70% of women attractive. So when you got statistics like these and you have a lot of women being interested in the same men, then we're looking at this one man and we feel like he having sex with a lot of people, but no, that's just the man we attracted to, and it's not a lot of those. So we'll think that one man that we're attracted to and that we might not mind hooking up with is hooking up with everybody, and he is hooking up with Jasmine, Jessica, Nicole, Becky, and Sarah. He is hooking up with all of them, but there's not a lot of men in that status that is hooking up with a lot of women. A lot of men have a hard time getting sex. And do you know what they do when they have a hard time getting sex?
Be by them, do themselves?
You think so?
What do you say? What did the statistics say?
Just think about it. You just think about it. If a man can't get sex because maybe he's not attractive. Maybe he's doesn't have any charisma. Maybe he doesn't have any swag. Maybe he doesn't have any money. What is he? But he still wants sex. What do you think he do?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Pays for it.
Oh yeah, he could pay for. Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I could see that.
He
I could.
pays. He pays for it. So a lot of men, So question. Okay, so answer me this: if a man came up to it don't have to be you. You could put you in the situation, or you could put just like in general. But if a man came up to a woman and be like, "I want to have sex with you," what do you think the woman would say?
It depends on who he is, first of all, and
Well,
how.
maybe he's just somebody who she goes to school with and is in a few of her classes, and they talk to each other here and there.
But nothing about hooking up or anything, that she don't have no interest in him or anything.
Mm-mm.
Then she gonna say no.
You don't say no. What do you think if that same woman went to the man and say, I want, show interest in him and said she wanted to have sex with him? What do you think he would say?
But probably was. Yeah.
And so, sex is easily accessible for women. A lot of times, a man she doesn't have a hard time having sex, which is another reason on why she holds the key to sex. Christopher Makti, thanks for joining. He says, "We hear you, Auntie."
What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't even give you a chance.
Okay.
Salima Muhammad says vice versa. And she also said, I would love to get my opinion on this. Okay, Lima. So I need to put the link right here. Hold on, let me put it in here real quick. And then you could push it and feel free to come on whenever you're ready. More, post comment, put the link chat. I'm not sure if you got an iPhone or not, but if you do have an iPhone, you cannot go through Safari and put the link. You have to go through a Chrome browser or actually download the app itself. If you have an Android, then you fine with just going straight through the browser. So I know I'm a little all over the place right now, and my notes are a little bit over the place, but I have to get used to speaking on a topic with someone else on here. So when I did the rebellious woman and the breakdown of the household, it was a little easier for me because once I start talking, I just never stop, and it just all kind of roll and flow out. But since I have a guest, or since I have the co-host on here now, I got to make sure I'm trying. I don't want to just be talking. and not, really giving you a chance to say anything. But if I do go on talking, please, sorry. That's just kind of how I, get all my point out at once, without, forgetting some things that I wanted to say. And so let me just do this real quick. So, because I wanted to go over some of the comments, and that'll help me, get a little bit deeper into the conversation. And so, the comments said that it said that it's not one-sided. You're actively choosing to not think critically and see the role that men play heavily into this. It's not an issue where you can point fingers at the opposite sex. This take is just ignorant and misogynistic. So I think we went over ignorant before, right? We went over the word ignorant, and ignorant means to lack knowledge, correct? We have not went over the word misogynistic. Do you know what the word misogynistic means?
Let me, baby, break it down.
What you say, mama?
Down for me, sweetheart. Break it down.
Okay, so misogynistic meaning strongly prejudiced against women. That's what misogynistic means. Okay, so the comment is saying that, this take on it, that's saying women are responsible for the hookup culture, is ignorant and misogynistic. So Akira Muhammad, hey, I miss y'all. Hey Akira, we miss you too.
And can I ask a question? So maybe are we putting it out there where that we're saying that women are responsible for the hookup, or are we saying that women are in more control of the hookup?
Okay, so that's a very good question. And just so we not throwing words around, even though we know what the words mean, you still kind of want to just go in and break down the word, because this is why it's important to understand the meaning of words. Because like we talked about in the first episode, your understanding of words and what they mean can shape your beliefs. So if I'm saying I believe women are responsible, and I'm not even breaking down or understanding the proper word meaning or the meaning of the word responsible, then that could make, maybe I'm not using the right word. Maybe it might be the word control. So let's go into the word, even though responsible is, pretty easy one, but let's just go into the definition. Having an obligation to do something or having control over or care for someone as part of one's job or role.
I don't know if that's the right word then.
It also, the second one, being the primary cause of something and so able to be blamed or credited for it. That's the one that
Okay.
I'm using. So I do mean responsible. Now let me go into the word control, just to see if I don't mean that word. The power to influence or direct people's behavior or course of events. The power to influence or direct. So you know what? I'm gonna go on to say responsible and control. So I'm gonna double. You said what?
About influence as well.
Yeah, influence, because it influenced it to happen more as well. So I'm gonna double down on control and responsible. And so am I ignorant in this? I was thinking, like, I have never been a part of the hookup culture. Um, so that actually could be, true, and I actually don't even mind being ignorant to that, you know, because I think that, that shapes my morals and my standards, that I have not been a part of the hookup culture. And so I could be ignorant to that. Am I misogynistic? No, I don't. I'm not a misogynistic. However, I do, sometimes we get this is just what I feel, and this is based off my, research, what I see in front of me, what I see around me. This is just what I came up. This is just my belief. Like I said, everyone has an opinion. You can feel how you want to feel. This is just how I felt. And so I do want to make sure that we keeping it on the hookup culture, just strictly engaging in sex without dating. We're not talking about dating because that's different. We're not talking about marriage because that's different. We're talking about just hooking up. And so, um, a man, like I said, a man can come up to you and say, "Let's have sex," and you probably would be like, "No." I'm like, especially if he come up to you and be like, "You want to have sex?" You probably be like, "No, what the no, like get out of here." You probably look at him all weird and stuff. But like I said, a woman probably can go up to a man most likely and be like, "Let's have sex," and he'll probably be like where and what time, where, like what's going on. And so, with that being said, I do think, once again, that a man can't have sex with a woman unless he's granted them access. Women hold the sex key. If women waited to marriage, do you think it would be a lot of hookup culture if they held their standards a little bit higher? And you like, no, well, I'm not just hooking up if we're not going to be dating, or if we not, don't have any intentions on getting married. If you think if they said that, then the numbers would decrease a little of how much people were hooking up?
Most definitely. And that number may have decreased now from when the hookup culture started. I've never been a part of the hookup culture. I don't feel myself, not because I didn't want to have sexual relations. It's just that I was always an emotional being. I was always, you know, like I guess in a relationship maybe or something. I'm not for sure.
Okay. Salima says, I can't hop on. Unfortunately, it isn't working. Oh, I'm sorry, it isn't working. I'm sorry. Like I said, if I don't know if you have an iPhone, but if you do have an iPhone, it is kind of harder to get on. If you're going, like I said, you can't go through the Safari app. Um,
So I
and
went
so,
to the app,
huh?
to the Safari app. When she sent me the link, I copied it and then I pasted it. And then I went to go and paste. I went to go.
On in the Safari? Oh, okay. I was
Yeah, I copied the link that Dorcetta sent me, and then I opened up a new tab in Safari. I pasted it, and then it says go and paste or something. And I said yes. That's how I got in.
okay. Thanks for that, because I was told from somebody else that you couldn't get on if it's through the Safari. Thank you for that. And so I had a few questions. Okay, so I think I just want to go into the nature of a man and a woman. And so we know that as women, we are the receivers. Would you agree with that?
As far as receiving what?
Like, as far as when it comes to reproduction and having sex.
And not a giver, because we have to give ourselves to them.
Right, but we have to receive them, like, they go inside the woman. They give the sperm to the woman. The woman gets the sperm, you
Then
know.
be receivers.
Yes. And then and so then the nature of a man, from not just, from research, from looking around me, the nature of man is that he's wired to reproduce, and the way to reproduce is to have sex. Like, do you ever see, like, I know you don't have dogs or are around dogs, so you wouldn't probably have seen it in real life, but have you seen videos of, like, dogs humping a lot of different things? Like, it'd be somebody's leg,
Yeah.
It'll be a toy. It'll be. Why do you think that is? And
Uh,
is it a male dog or a female dog?
of that I don't know which one it is the most, but I have seen that. Uh, yeah.
And so usually it's the male dog who's doing the humping. Um, usually it's the male dog, and so men are just wired that way to have sex and want to reproduce. And I think, let me just take
A
us
lot of
into.
women are now saying that, all men want is sex. I mean, on a primitive level, that's all men's supposed to want. A man look at a woman, he look at how sexually attractive she is. The first thing he think of is reproducing. We think sex is something else, which it is when you get into the higher spiritual realms, but it's for reproducing, entering into the course. So of course a man is gonna look at you and see a round behind and see some plump breasts and want to make love. It's in his entire DNA to repopulate, to make sure that his genealogy is living forever. So anyways, so in women, it's supposed to get her ready for reproducing. In males, it's supposed to do the same thing, but too much of it in males. Remember, you have adipose tissues, and these adipose tissues in males starts over accumulating for it can make sure it holds in estrogen. So estrogen in men is supposed to kick on testosterone when it's at a little, but when it's too high, it overpopulates testosterone and it makes testosterone go low. Testosterone and zinc and iron phosphate and magnesium is actually what creates seminal fluid. Seminal fluid is then goes into the prostate and it creates your ejaculation fluid for you can have semen, for you can actually have a baby. So estrogen lowers your semen count. It sterilizes you. Not only that, it grows visceral fat, meaning that it literally can grow breasts, or you see a lot of men getting butts now, and it shrinks the penises. We have lost over 2 inches in width and girth of penis in black males within the last 10 years. We're losing our penises. All right, well, not only that, estrogen, it messes with the DNA, and now a lot of males are losing something called the Y chromosome.
To the biology of a man, he went very deep. I didn't even need him to go that deep, but he definitely went very deep. But men are wired to have sex. Men, like, we're all, God made us and he wanted us to reproduce. If you're in a relationship or in a marriage, sex is for pleasure as well, but God wanted us here to reproduce. That's the circle of life. That's how we keep making more and repopulating the world. And so men are wired to have sex. So when people say, well, why do men, you know, try to go hook up with a girl? Like, they're responsible for it too. Well, they're just acting in the nature of a man. They're acting. The more, if a man didn't have a lot of experience or didn't have experience with women, usually those would be the men we talking about. Like, it could be a 30-year-old version, and a lot of men be like, I don't know if I wanna, we ain't side eyeing looking at the 30-year-old version like, oh, I wanna date him. No. It usually be that one man who got all the women that we be attracted to, because that's why I said women are attracted to the same men. So a man is working in his natural role by trying to hunt, to be the hunter, trying to be with women. So I don't really think, because someone said, and so someone said that men, they believe both people do, and it's men because men are hypersexual and they lack self-control. And I think it gets a little bit too much for us to think that about men, that they're hypersexual because they want to have sex. They're wired to want to do that. And a lot of times when a man is operating against his nature, that's where things go wrong. If you have, he's just wired to want to have sex. So he's going, yes, mother.
So I watch the Animal Planet a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I know you do.
and I understand what you're saying when you say that men are wired to want to have sex, because in watching those shows and those series, the they do hunt. They do come after the women, and sometimes you'll see like one of them may have multiple women in their family, their herd, like their group, and it's just one of them. And also, if a lady does it, if a lady animal does it, you don't see that too often. I know it's a bird that I've seen and one other animal where the lady will have multiple partners. Even in the show, they called her promiscuous. I hope I said that right. Um,
Promiscuous.
yeah, promiscuous. Yeah, that. But most of this is always the men, the male animals that are hunting the women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I think it's just even them. It's just in their nature, and then to think that they don't have the minds that we have, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
have, but it's in them too.
Right.
So that's
So
just the male. What you call that? What would you call that? The male what?
biology, their biological makeup.
Yeah, I do believe that because I've seen that on watching those shows as well.
And this starts early when men are younger too. Do you hear, like, have you ever heard someone say like, when they talking about, maybe their younger son or just a younger boy, like, oh, you're gonna be a heartbreaker when you get older, you know, um, you know, just men are, when men are with their friends and stuff, if they get a lot of women number, you know, you encourage them. Men who have access to multiple women, that's almost determine not determines their value, but it plays a part in their value. Where a woman who has a lot of access to many men can lower her value because of she's the receiver and now she's receiving a lot. As we went on over in one of the last episodes in talking about pair bonding and how a woman takes on a lot of the man when she's having sexual intercourse with him. It can do things to change her mood. It rewires things in her brain. Do I still have pair bonding on here? I do. Pair bonding, casual sex with multiple partners can make it more difficult to form permanent bonds in the future. This is because casual sex decreases neurochemical production and causes the brain to form a new synaptic map on one night stands, which could become the new normal. So basically, if you wire yourself to have these one night stands, it's just gonna you kind of open it up and creating your mind to feel like you need more of this. And the more people you have sex with, the more people you are comparing the person you having sex with at that moment. You have all these people that you had sex before that person to compare things with, leaving women sometimes and a lot of times not satisfied because they are comparing. So let me say, but at the end of the day, you cannot say women make a man do anything. And so no, I'm not saying a woman makes a man do anything. And that brings me to my next comment. Uh uh but So if that is the case and women are the ones that can get sex, just because they open their legs doesn't mean a man has to do it. That's why I mentioned controlling lower desires. It's not the woman that looks at a man and says she wants to have sex with him. He has said or did something to make a woman feel that way. I'm not saying that's in all cases, but each party has to be responsible because we all have control over what we do. So the same way for a woman can say no, same for a man. And so that's why I talked about the biological makeup of a man. We can't do the same thing in that case. Men are hunting, they're looking for, when they see a woman, their mind goes, oh, I might need to plant my seed there. That's just the way their brain thinks. So, of course, then you have men who can't have sex. They just can't. I don't think that we think that that happens, but We are. So someone said a comment and said, what if you like cake and you haven't eaten? Meaning, what if you do like sex and want to have sex, but you just can't? Why can't that man have sex? Like I said, either he doesn't have the personality, the charisma, the money, the swag, or something about him, or it's simply because the woman is not giving, she's not letting him. So when you have those men going to women who will participate in the hookup culture, are they really wrong? Are they really operating in their lower desires? Are they really hypersexual? Are they really lacking self-control when they can't even get sex and they're taking a chance to have sex with someone who's willing to have sex with them? They're not taking it from them. The woman is granting them access and giving them consent. So do you think that that's a man operating in his lower desires, or is hypersexual, or lacks self-control if he can't get sex from many other places, so he take it where he could get it from? Mother.
I don't know. Um,
So let's say you have a geeky person, you think nerds get a lot of.
they could, because some women would like to be the one to, help them out. They could. Those be the ones that you got to watch out for, because then they learn something. Next thing you know, they out there. But I really don't know, because this is a tough subject for me. Um, because I don't know, because I do feel that it's both. And I understand what you're saying. I understand from just watching the shows that I watch. I understand how the animals work. I understand men, to a point, but I don't know about the hookup culture and how. I don't know. I'm sorry. At a loss for words right now, because I do think that men have self control, and I do think that it could also be. What about this? Then what about that? Maybe it's not as many men out there that there are women. What about that? How did that play a part in this? Is more?
Mother, mother,
Yes.
I'm so sorry. You were talking all that time, but it had disconnected, and so I really didn't hear what you said. Can you say it again?
The thing I can repeat is a question that I have to ask. Is what about the fact that maybe there's more women than there are men? How does that play a part in this?
That does play a part. That does play a part. So while you have one man who, we said the women like the same man. So if you have one man who been with one, two, three, four women, they're all partaking in the hookup culture, right?
Okay.
How many women you got participating in that hookup culture, and how many men do you got participating in that?
4 women and 1 man.
So don't that make a difference alone right there? And
Yeah,
don't that
men. Yeah, but because maybe it's not that many men. So he has more choices than women do,
he
right?
has more choices than women do. And so with um but if you have four of those women and two of them decide to raise their standards a little and say, well, I'm not partaking in the hookup culture. I'm actually going to wait till I'm married, or till I know, we're going somewhere. I'm not just going to engage in sex. Then now you have just two women over one
Well,
man. He can't hook up with no one if there's no one to hook up with.
understand. Yes, that's true.
And so um Salima says men are still aren't animals. So they can't say that they don't have any control. but that means he is the problem. He would be the one who decided to be with multiple women. And that is fine for a man. That is, if, especially if he's not forcing it or taking it. I just don't see that's a man lacking self-control or being hypersexual. If a man can get sex, he's gonna get sex. Can he say no? Yes. But like I said, if he's not a man who can even get sex, what are his chances of saying no? And he wants to have sex. I don't think a man is operating in his lower desires or hypersexual if he simply can't have sex and he's taking a chance that he can get. Um, let's go into
Most men grow up with zero intention of being in a relationship. Zero. We get encouragement from everybody around us to do the wrong thing. Starting with our moms early, right out of the gate. Like when a mother has a handsome son, what's the first thing she says? Oh, he's going to be a heartbreaker when he goes out. Look at him. He's so handsome. Oh, all of the girls are going to just be, fawning over him. Your dad, your uncles. Man, back in my day, man, I used to have them. I had 3 or 4. We go to the parties. I get 10 numbers, or I do this, I do that. All the women wanted me back in the day, boy. And then you go outside and your homeboys, what y'all doing? Y'all competing. Oh, man, let's see who can get the most numbers. Let's see who can have sex first. And women, y'all don't get to escape culpability in this as well. Most women are attracted to men who a lot of women want. So again, that is encouragement to a man from all angles to go out here and just stack up attractive women like I'm collecting Pokemon cards.
this is happening from like he said, from when men are younger. Men are there. It's always talked about men and how many women, how much access they have to women. I think it was a term that we were trying to compare to the other day. It was like, if you have a car and it has a lot of miles on it, are you going to choose that car that has a lot of miles, or are you going to choose the car that has limited miles on it? When you're looking for a reliable car, to get you around to the most important places that you need to be, you are not going to choose the car that have a lot of miles on it, because you don't know if it's reliable and going to get you where you need it to go. However, if you have a man who has 10 cars, you're going to look at him like, wow, you're not going to look at him as any bad way, or like he has his value is lowered because he has a lot of cars. The fact that he has access to all these cars, you're going to be looking like, wow, how does he have access to all of this? He is more valuable to the fact that he has access to so many cars, where a car that has a lot of miles, referring to the woman and maybe having multiple bodies, it's not going to be as valuable when she has many bodies or many miles on her. And so I say that because men and women are not the same, which, if we don't want our value to be lowered, we should refrain from partaking in the hookup culture, because not only are we lowering our value, um, we're also enabling it to keep going on and on. Because like I said, if men did not have anyone to hook up with, or if women weren't partaking in the hookup culture, then they would not be hooking up with anyone. So if we have that power, and we want, as women, I will hope we want more successful relationships, successful marriages, and to have greater value within ourselves, wouldn't we refrain for partaking in the hookup culture or having hookup sex? And then if we refrained, would there be less women for men to actually hook up with? You are speaking from the internet and not experience. Can you drop the link again? Yes, I could drop the link again. Drop the link again. It's down there. Um, there's a lot of things that play a part. Like, I just feel like, that we be you should be held accountable for, as far as we say that, men shouldn't be partaking in the hookup culture as well, but yet we have a lot of promiscuous women. I saw today there's a challenge going around. I don't know, challenge trend, but it's basically women just in booty shorts or some tight yoga pants, leggings, or thong, just shaking their butt. And it's just like, really, really. And then we talked about being objectified to men, and this is what we see on our timeline every single day. This is what we see in the clubs. This is what we see. you know we have people who will take birthday pictures in lingerie. We have, we going out to dinner in like outfits that's sheer and see-through that could really be like club outfits. And then when a man is hunting for women and want to have sex, we're like, well, he should be able to control himself. Like, should he be able to control himself? Would it be better for him to control himself, or will we have a better outcome if women valued themselves a little more in their body and not showing it off on the internet, not showing it off everywhere? We would kill two birds. We would kill two birds with one stone, because we will have women valuing themselves and their body more, and we will also, men can't say, well, look, you dress like this or you dress like that, because I just don't think that is fair to put it on a man and say that he objectifies a woman because he's looking at her and she's dressed with her chest out, her butt cheeks showing, and a lot more. What do you feel about that? Do you think that a way a woman dressed can play a part to a man wanting to have sex with her?
Well, so I don't know if I would say that that plays a part, because if you want to have sex with her, he gonna want to have sex with her regardless. However, I do think that
Before you move on, you saying the way women dress by dressing provocative or promiscuous does not play. You don't think it plays a part in a man, and if he wants to have sex with a woman?
and maybe want to do it more, maybe notice her more, maybe see more of her, but I don't think it plays. I think it's going to enhance those feelings that he may already have a lot more. I think it's going to enhance those feelings that he has already a
I
lot.
definitely think so as well. I think which is why, like in some religions, or some religions, like example, the Nation of Islam, women are taught to wear garments, to wear, shirts that go past their butts, to not wear, open toe shoes, to cover their hair, because the way you dress, I've heard the minister say, believe it or not, men are attracted to your feet. Like, it's something simple as you having your toes out that men can be attracted to. So wear closed toe shoes. Don't have your toes out. Wear shirts that pass your bottom. So I do believe that the way you dress plays a part in what the man sees and his sexual desire.
That will enhance his sexual desire.
Hey Salima, welcome, welcome.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
actually, I had to do what Auntie did. Thank
Can
you,
I ask
Auntie.
a
You
question?
did?
Yeah, it worked like that. The- I love my family.
Good, good, good. So grateful that you're able to join
Hold
us.
on. But Lima, you going in
Have you started talking
Hear
yet?
me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear
Now
you.
I could. Now I
One,
could
two,
hear
one,
you.
two, one, two. No, just kidding.
Yes.
Okay, praise yourself. Good. Okay. Blessings.
Okay. Thank you for joining in.
Of course, of course. Head top on the topic. And you know what? I'm really happy that that was God doing that because I wanted to hear your standpoint first. And that's what I said before I really responded. I wanted to get a full understanding of where you were coming from. So then,
Uh
you
huh.
know, because it's better to hear and listen and receive and then give your response. So that was God.
Yes.
So
That
it
that
is
is
some
true.
things that I don't particularly agree with, but I understand why, like where you're coming from with it as well. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
So I don't know where I was at because it was loading on this end. So I stopped talking and let y'all continue what y'all was just saying before I say anything.
Well, so since you're on here, let's just take it back a little so we can break it down because I think one of the things that we need to realize is let's not just skip to the effect, but go to the root. So let's try to break it. Let's try to start from the very beginning. So what do you consider hookups? What is your definition of the hookup culture or hookup sex?
Pretty much what you said, like just people not in a relationship and just getting it on when they feel like getting it on.
Okay. Okay, and your standpoint on the hookup culture and who is responsible, you're saying that both parties are responsible.
Yeah, 100%. Strictly because at the end of the day, like it's been mentioned multiple times, it's just like it takes two. And yes, I agree with the fact of the woman's state and how she carries herself, that plays a big part on how many hookups are happening. Because the thing is, if you're attracting something, then don't be surprised, when it come knocking at your door. But it's also like I like the thing is, and this is what I was saying when I said the internet. I was like, you get it from the internet and not experience. And the reason why I say that, not because I'm not saying that you don't know what you're talking about, because I believe that a lot of the things you're stating are facts. But the reason why I say with experience is that I know men and I know women who have been with a man who wasn't even attractive and just knew how to use the right words to get her to get her. You know what I'm saying? I know women who aren't the most attractive who will get a man. Just, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's both. So it doesn't have to do anything with like attraction. Oh, the woman just want to be with a man because he look good. No, sometimes a man could just really sway a woman just by the words that he speaks. That's why they teach us like you're not supposed to be on the phone with a man for too long because that starts you know what I'm saying, that starts human nature that or to arise and make you want to go to the next step. And the
I
thing is,
wish
like,
somebody
yes, I agree,
that.
huh?
I wish somebody would have told me that a long time ago.
Oh, no, but facts, but no, for real. And that's the thing, like, and I've learned that from my own experience. Like, so the thing is like, is yes, women, we have to blame for the simple fact of if we're flaunting our body and we're showing off and we asking a man, but the same way you said, like a man it's only been one man, but he's been with four different women. If let's just say that man was with four different women in one night, yeah, okay, yes, a man nature is to reproduce, but it's no reproduction in that form that's happening, and that's not even on the mind. So yes, it's like, okay, yeah, that's their nature, but you cannot just base it solely off of that. Because the thing is, like I said, I know men who say no to women. I'm pretty sure that the thing is, I feel like my man is very attractive, but I know for a fact that if he was faced with the opportunity, that like he said, it'd be women at his job that tries to come onto him, and he was like, they try to bring him in, and he's like, he'll cut the conversation short because he's like, I know that I could pull a woman in strictly just by giving her the right type of conversation.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you can't just say, oh well, it's the women who are making the hookup happen, because the thing is, like I said, just by a slight word, a man could get a woman in his bed. But yeah, that's all.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying when you say that a man can sway a woman with his words, are you putting that on the man because of how good he or how he can sway his words? That's no accountability on a woman by being swayed by his words.
Oh, 100%. 100%. This is what I'm saying is that that's why I said it's on both ends. Because the same way that a woman can wear a sexual outfit to get a man in her bed, the same way a man, like I said, it could be an ugly dude, and he can get a woman just by the right words that he used. I've seen it happen. I'll be like, you pulled her, but for real, like that's what I'm saying. It's on both ends. Both of you can say no, because like I said, I'm pretty sure Chris is an ugly dude. I'm pretty sure that women that came up to him and was on like, "Hey, Chris, how you doing?" and trying to get him. And the thing is, he had the right to say no. You know what I'm saying? Because just like it's just with the simple fact of, and that's why you have to think of it like this: with you being in an actual relationship. Let's take it off. Let's just pause from the hookup part, just in looking at the relationship factor. You've been in a relationship, and there's a time when you're pregnant, and after you have your baby, there's a thing called your recovery phase. And
Mm-hmm.
your man cannot be with you in that time of your recovery. And just because he can't have you doesn't mean that he's supposed to go out. Well, my I'm naturally supposed to reproduce. I'm supposed to be with a woman. So I need to go find me a woman to be with. Just because he can't have his cake don't mean he got to go find some other cake, and that doesn't justify it. So yes, he has to learn how to control those lower desires. And that's what I'm saying. I'm all like, you cannot just blame the woman to say, oh well, because she flaunted it or gave him the option to do it with her, it means that he has to say yes. And the same goes for a woman. You just because a man come knocking on your door don't mean you got to open it for him.
And and can I just say something? So the word blame, I would look at a different word. I would look at a different word because I don't know if we were blaming the woman. I think we were saying that the woman had more control over the hookup. Uh, uh, what you
Culture.
culture than the men. Now, just back to Lima's point about not being on the phone with the man too long. I never knew that before because that has happened before where a guy has said, you're not even like really my type. And the girl was like, yeah, because I wouldn't even notice you. But they were on the phone for so long that they actually start vibing and then they actually end up hooking up. It was to understanding that, hey, if I'm in town, we gonna hook up, and that was fine for both of them.
Right, right. I see what you're saying. Um, Going back to what Salima said, you took it to relationship, and that's where I understand what you're saying in a relationship. That make total perfect sense. And
But
even in a relationship, we still grant the access to sex, which is a lot of times why men step out is because they not getting sex at home. They can't really, force us or, it's kind of like we give the access. It's just kind of like whenever she ready and willing, then okay, I'm ready and willing. But sometimes, the woman isn't ready and willing. And since she grants the access, he's not getting it. But we're not even talking about relationship because that's like completely different. So I am just talking strictly about the hookup culture, simply men and women just meeting and having casual sex. Because as you know, a woman having casual sex is going to lower her value. It's the more body she's collecting, you know, um, it's going to lower her value, period. So I'm talking simply about hookup sex. And so if a man is swaying a woman with, you know, his words, or a woman is swaying a man, just by the way she dressed, in the end, can the sex happens if the woman don't even allow it? You hold on, wait, because I can't hear you. And you unmuted.
I,
Uh, Akira says behind every no good woman is a no good man. So if we lower our value, part of the reason is because of the influence a man had in our life, which makes a man half responsible for thinking hooking up is a wise choice.
wow.
Let me read that. Raya, hold on 1 second.
Behind every no good woman is a no good man. So if we lower our value, part of the reason is because of the influence a man had in our life, which makes a man halfway responsible for thinking hooking up is a wise choice. And see, that's why I think I say both, because we both have to be uh partaking in the hookup culture.
So, do you think that a man that that
Lima, you back?
you got headphones in or something? I
Can you
don't.
can she hear us?
Hold on. She said she could hear us. I'm not sure. Edit mic settings. Let me see real quick. Lima, see if you could go in and come back out.
Cause it says she's muted on my phone. I can see her thing. It says muted.
When I saw it, it didn't say muted. She muted. It was muted, but it unmuted.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so what I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, so if a woman has sex with, okay, you could tell me if it's too personal or not. You don't want to answer. I can't answer because I don't. So anybody that you had intimate relations with, was it, did you pursue them or did they pursue you?
It was both. We were on the phone.
Okay, okay. So, okay. So, man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Um, I can't. But since I forgot what I was gonna say, let me go. Lima came back. Let me see if we can hear her. Look at a thing.
One, two.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Oh,
we
there you
can
go. Look.
hear, and we can hear you too, Athema.
Hey, beautiful.
And so I forgot where I was
I
going on to. Huh? She
I can't.
muted now. She muted herself now. She probably just mute herself until she ready to talk.
Okay.
And
Well,
so,
mhm.
go ahead, mother. Were you gonna say something?
No, I think that was me.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Lima.
Well, I was going to comment back on what you said in the beginning, when you said about strictly about the hookup. When I mentioned about the relationship part, I was saying that because I saw like men have the will to have self control, and that I was just using that as an example. So I'm saying I'm all like just be, and then also you mentioned about women, devaluing themselves, and I was just like when you mentioned about the fact of saying like, oh well, if one man been with four women, I'm all like, technically that would mean that each one of them have only been with one man.
Oh
And
man.
let's just say that's the case. You know what I'm saying? So they're even though I feel like anytime a woman is with a man, no matter if she only has three, five, 10, you know what I'm saying? Like the more it goes up, of course, it's bad. But I feel like at the end of the day, I'm sorry, can y'all still hear me? Because I know there's a little loud, little heathens in the background. But but no, I just feel like at the end of the day, like I said, just like Akira mentioned about there's no such thing as a no good woman. If you find a no good woman, there's a no good man that made her like that. And yes, that has a part to play in it. Yes, that has a part to play in it. But I just feel at the end of the day, everybody has to take accountability for their own actions. You can, like I said, men aren't animals. So yeah, you can put a piece of meat in front of an animal and it's gonna attack it. If you put a naked woman in front of a man, he most likely gonna attack it. But the difference between a man and a dog is that a man is not gonna go on the sidewalk and take it, go number two on the sidewalk. He has enough knowledge and to not act like an animal. And why won't he do that? Because it's a shame. It's a, like I said, something in humans to make us act in a way of having self-control. So at the end of the day, you cannot compare and say, oh, well, it's just in our nature. Yeah, it's a lot of things in our nature. It's a lot of things, but just like how in our nature to drink water, or it's in our nature to eat. But that's why it's a thing called Ramadan, and we have to control ourselves to not eat and to not drink. That's like if let's just say we all need money. That's like if a man go to the bank and the bank teller says, hey, I got the keys to the safe. I'll open the safe for you. You can take as much money as you want to take out of it. But if he go in that safe and take that money out, he's still gonna get fined for going into a safe. Just because the teller opened the door for him don't mean that he had the right to go in there. And doesn't mean that, and that's like I said, and we all need money. So I'm just using that as an example of saying, like, just because it's in your nature and it's something that you need or something that you need to function throughout doesn't mean that you have to go about it. Doesn't mean that you have to do it just because somebody say, here you go, here it is for you. And that, like I said, that's for both parties, regardless of anything. A woman cannot have sex with herself. She cannot do it. So the hookup, whole thing for the hookup is for both parties. Both parties are partaking in the hookup factor. And you just stated that the only reason why it's more women partaking in it is because it's less men that can actually get it from women. And that doesn't mean that the women have the 100% control over it. That means that it's just, like I said, it's not that many men that's out there that's women like, okay, well, yeah, he smooth talking me right, but I'm getting off topic. At the end of the day, like I said, if it's more women going to one man, then that means that man is partaking in it with multiple women. And yes, it's for women over here, but like I said, at the end of the day, they have that option. That man had that option to say no to one of them, and that's what I mean. If I said
So
that
what
correctly.
happens to the other men who not getting all the women? What about him? Is he operating against lower desires, or is he hypersexual because he can't get sex and he wants to have sex with someone? Is he operating in his lower self because he's taking the
No,
chance that a woman provides him?
I was, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm all like, just because it doesn't. Go ahead. Just because a woman is for the men that's not getting it, for the men that aren't in the women's radar. Huh? I'm sorry. Just because they're not in the woman's radar does not mean that, okay, they're not, it's still trying, that doesn't mean that they don't want to partake in it. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like, the soon if a woman gave them the opportunity, then would they say yes, or would they say no? It's just because their opportunity is not presented to them. So that's where you can't judge off the fact of somebody who's not being faced with the opportunity. They can't even be in the category because they're
Right.
not faced with the opportunity to do it. So you can't say, oh yeah, I would never do drugs. I would never do drugs, but you ain't never seen the drugs in your life. You ain't never seen alcohol in your life. You ain't never seen a woman in your life, and you sitting here saying, I'll never be with a woman, but you didn't have the opportunity to prove yourself. So that's what I'm saying. You cannot say that it's just based off of women, and women can be the ones to say no. They should be able to say no. Men should have to say no too. At the end of the day.
Okay, one more thing, Mom, before you go, because I don't want to forget you. So when you use the bank as an example, you said everyone wants money, and that's just like a man going to the bank and a teller giving access to the safe and saying, here, take what you want. And you said that man goes in and he gets the money. Okay. So the bank loses value, right? By money being taken regardless from the safe, right? But would the man have had access to the safe if the teller did not open the door?
Correct. He wouldn't.
So who fault is it that the bank has lost value?
I wasn't speaking on if the bank losing value, because though that's neither here or there. What I was saying is that if he got, let's just say the cops came and took him up, and he's saying, "Oh well, the bank teller opened the door for me," they're gonna be like, "But you walked up in there. You didn't have to go in there that bank and steal that money." They gonna charge him just like they gonna charge her for opening the door.
So that's
Who's
that's
responsible for the bank for losing the money?
both of them, cause she
Both
opened
of them,
it.
because he took
If
it. She didn't
she
take it
didn't
down.
open the door, the bank
That's
wouldn't have
true.
lost the
That's
money.
true. But what I'm saying is that they will both
Move
be
back.
fine the same way. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it takes the two. That's what I mean by it takes two. Because if the door wasn't open, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to go in, but he also had the option to know it's not right. It's
Right.
not right for me to go in there and take this money, but I need this money, so I'm gonna take it. How many of us can really truly say that? That's what I'm saying. I'm all like, it's easier said than done when you are facing a situation like that. That's why I said women aren't just at the club and looking at a man and say, I'm finna sleep with him tonight. And they just take him by the hand, take him to the car. No words are being given to each other. Nobody spoke to each other. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's just not having some type of conversation with each other before the act is done. There is some type of conversation that is happening with before that act is it gets to that part. And that's what I'm saying. I'm all like, it's.
What
Mhm.
what if they at the club or at the bar and they both drinking and they end up finding themselves meeting up after the club
That
and
means
they
mutual understanding.
and it's a mutual understanding. But what I'm saying is now you have two more people engaging in hookup sex, creating adding more to the hookup culture. But a man gonna be drunk and go to that woman and want to have sex with her, and a woman might be drunk and want to have sex with the man. But will it even happen if she doesn't grant access? If she doesn't grant access, you have now eliminated one situation out of the hookup culture.
Okay,
Because
right. And what if he doesn't enter her? Hmm. Does that not prevent it from happening as well? That's what I'm saying. I'm all like, yes, it's hard for men. Yes, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying if a woman throws it in his face, he's not going to be tempted. All I'm saying is that you cannot say at the age of 2 years old, we learn wrong from right. At the age of 2 years old, we start learning from wrong from right. You cannot say, oh, well, the woman threw it in my face. And I was like, dang. I know men who had to run from women, who had to run from
but a
women just
man is
because
not gonna do that if he could get women. He's not losing value by sleeping with
he's not.
multiple
He's
women.
not.
He's
Nope.
not he's not doing anything wrong, especially if he's showing interest in them, they showing interest in him, and he want to hook up with them. He's not losing value, but that woman is losing value by participating in the hookup culture. He's not losing value, so he's not going to be like, oh, I shouldn't do this.
But I guess
Actually,
because I'm not just thinking of it as in a way of, okay, well, it's just he's not losing value. I'm thinking of it in a way of still like in my conscious mindset that I have of saying wrong from right and fornication is wrong regardless. So that's like my mindset as well. And so removing that mindset at the end of the day, like I said, when if a man wants a woman, and even if you take away the fact of just saying a woman losing her value. Because the thing is, a lot of people nowadays are losing the whole conscious mindset of the whole thing. So that's why there are so many hookups that are happening. And women think they can do it just as much as men, and it's no problem. And they're making that a thing. And that's where it comes to the point. So if you speak it strictly off of that, that makes that even more prominent. What I'm saying is that it's on both sides, because the thing is, if you strictly make it like how they try to make it nowadays, like, oh, we can just hook up. If it's just strictly off of that, oh, we just can hook up, and take away the fact of the women having morals or people having morals and not fornicating and all that type of stuff. If you take away all those factors, each and every single one of them, that is strictly, and that has to it's only the two. It only has to do with who says yes and who says no, because at the end of the day, it's on both sides. You can, if you take away every other factor and just strictly make it about hooking up. That's why I said if you remove gender and just say two people are hooking up, it's just people hooking up, and the majority of you saying, oh, well, majority of the people are doing this are women. That's because it's like I said, it's less men that are attractive that women want to do it with. But that doesn't mean that it's not more men that will say yes. That doesn't mean that it's they should not say no.
I understand what you're saying with as far as it being more woman. I think I was just using that as a point because mom asked a question like it would, insinuating that it would be more women involved because the man is hooking up with the same or 4 women are hooking up with the same man. That's the only reason I brought that up. I'm not saying how many, the number of women is not even, that important to me. I'm just saying that the reason that it even exists is because we're granting the access to sex. If we had to make a change so the hookup culture isn't happening as much as and at the rates that they are, what would need to happen first? What would be more important what would be the most important thing to do? Would it be more important, or would it be not? I guess I won't say more important. Should we take on the part of the men, stop trying to hook up with women first, or should we take on the part of the woman to stop giving, up her body to someone who she doesn't have no insinuating or don't have any intentions on dating or marrying? And because we know there's going to be bad guys, we know there's going to be bad apples. It's not every man is great or is going to have the right intention. So wouldn't it be up to us to live up to our morals and our standards and to just not grant the access to those, because we're not going to be able to determine if a bad man or a good man is coming along.
Can I say something?
Yes, mother.
Back to Salima, first of all, and I've been wanting to say this for a long time. So I think the word we want to use may be intercourse, because a woman can have sex by herself.
I'm
Oh,
screaming.
OMG, mother. Do we need to go into the
I'm
definition of sex?
hollering.
Sex,
You know
sex,
what?
sex. What I'm
Go
looking at
ahead.
is the word about the woman who maybe have participated in um the hookup, and having those partners and maybe multiple partners. The word devaluing, that's something that who said that if a man has more women, that's okay, but if a woman has a lot of men, that's not okay? Who said that? Who really said that? A man.
We said that we don't like the man. We don't really find the man attractive who isn't wanted by other women. We don't really usually if usually that's why they have the percentage that women are attracted to the same man, because we find 90%, statistic shows we find 90% of men unattractive. So that 5% that we do find attractive, so do the other 10 people. And remember when Mika was on here and she said women want what they can't have. They'll see another man treating a woman good, doing this, doing that, and they want to be with that man too. We all want the same man. So the man that has a lot of access, like I said, an example earlier, you see a man that has a lot of cars, is he, you gonna look at him like, how did you get access to all of those? You're gonna look at him not as a value, but you're gonna look at him more valuable. The more women, the more resources, the more money, the more cars. Raya?
Well, this is a. I'm glad this is an open discussion, because see how the different opinions and different point of views and different outlooks on things. See how everybody perceive things differently.
Right. And
I
so do you go ahead, Lima?
I just want to say really quickly that I just want to make it clear. I don't agree with the hookup scene at all. I want to make that very clear. I do not agree with people hooking up. No, not at all.
Can I
Mm-hmm.
say something?
So,
As far
huh?
as the section, as far as the hookup culture, let's just say, for example, it would have to also are both parties being honest, because I don't think that women, well, I can't say this, I don't think that the majority of women would be okay with knowing that the man that they're hooking up with is also hooking up with other women. So
Wait,
some
say that again, Mom.
I don't think that most of women would be okay knowing that the man that they're hooking up with is hooking up with other women. So, for example, if I hooked up with so and so, I'm under the impression, I may be under the impression that, hey, I ain't really out here trying to have no relationship with nobody. I'm just trying to chill and everything. We got a good vibe and everything. I don't mind hollering at you. Let's hook up or whatever. But if I know that dude hooking up with another woman and another one and another one, I'm not going to even want to be a part of that, especially if I'm a receiver. I don't want to be receiving what you giving this, and this, because now I don't know what else I'm going to be receiving. So I don't think that it also goes back to being honest. Then, are we being open with each other? Are we letting the other person know, hey, you're not the only hookup I got? Are we really doing that? Most I would say most people are not, because most women, especially the way we emotional beings. When we give ourselves to somebody, we're giving ourselves to them for a reason. Yeah, it may be in a hookup culture, but hey, he may be fine. He may have what I want. He may be saying woo woo to me and everything. But if I know he's doing the same thing that somebody else do, I'm not even trying to hook up with you. Now I might be looking at the dude who ain't nobody looking at.
I definitely agree with that, Mom, with the being honest as well, because we might have, a woman or a man hooking up in a situation, and maybe a woman not gonna want to go into talking about commitment and I want to get married, because they feel like that's gonna lower their chances. So are they saying anything? Are they being honest? Something I had wrote in my notes was, if a woman is being honest and says up front what you are looking for and expect, and that you don't want to just hook up, and honest about what you want, then most likely you probably will scare that man away.
Yeah, cause he not gonna, if he ain't trying to have no relationship with you and he just trying to hook up, he gonna eliminate you off the bat, which is a good thing because we don't want that anyway. So that also goes back to, what are we going to do? What are we going to settle for? Are we going to settle for just hooking up? Or are we going to say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this. This is what I want. And I'm not going to settle for just hooking up. But see, that's why I said it goes both ways, because we have to take ownership of our action and our ways as well. I don't want to be hooking up with you if you hooking up with so and so, so and so, and so and so. I don't want to do that. And so if I'm not your only hookup, then dude, at least let me know. So now I have the option to say if I want to be a part of that or not. And then you also have to understand that, hey, you may not be my only hookup. Now we just really getting all entangled and all of that. And I don't want no part of that at all. I'm not finna be out here with 3 and 4 and 5. And I'm definitely not gonna be with you if you out here with 3, 4, and 5. If I'm gonna hook up with you, we gotta have the understanding that I'm hooking up with you and you hooking up with me. But if I'm not settling for nothing else now. I'm already doing this, but that's because I don't want no commitment or nothing. And just because I'm hooking up with you don't mean that there's nothing wrong with me. It just means that right now I ain't looking for no relationship. I ain't trying to be involved like that. I'm just trying to hook up with you. But just so you know, I'm not out here with everybody else, dude. And then you got to be honest too, because if I find out you out here with so and so, so and so and so, I'm not going to be a part of that.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with
Auntie
that.
went in. She said, heck no.
I definitely agree with being honest up front. So I think that if we could make a change with anything, that's the first thing we need to do, is both parties need to be upfront and communicating, if this is strictly to be hooking up, or, because we have intentions on doing something else. However, if it's been said that it's strictly to hook up, I just think that if we want to make a change, if we want to see more successful relationships and marriages, I think that i- we, as the woman, if we have the power and hold the key to sex, I think that we should try first with making sure we're not partaking in the hookup culture. Because if we're not, then men will have way less women to hook up with. Men are going to be men. I know Salima said that doesn't mean that, just because you feel like you need sex or can get sex, that means you go get it just because she's willing to give it to you. But I do feel like, you kind of, there, like I said, we think that there's a lot of men who sleeping with a lot of people, but that's because we all want the same man. So there really is a lot of men who can't get sex. And like the comment said, what if they like cake but they haven't eaten? They're going to take what opportunity they can get. That's not really them operating in their lower desires or them being hypersexual. That's them being a man and they want to have sex. And at this point, if they can't have the sex because they can't get in a relationship with a woman, or they can't get a girl to be interested in them, then they're going to have sex with whoever it is that's going to give them that access to have sex with them. And so, what else is some things that you think
So,
that? Go ahead, Lima.
but wait, with that statement being said right
Which one?
there, you the last one you just said, if he's gonna go find it elsewhere. You said even men would even go to the extent of paying for it. So, like for one, I just wanna I'm gonna finish this statement first. If like I said, you like you just said, he'll go to the extent of paying for it. So even if women said, you know what, well, let's just say 50% of the women on the earth said, I am not, I'm going to stand and I'm going to wait till marriage and everything like that. There is men out there who are still going to go searching to find a woman that's going to do exactly what he wants her to do, and that's have to have intercourse at the end of the day. So it's like, who really has the control over it? You get what I'm saying? Like if he's really gonna go to the extent of paying women, you don't find women that's doing that. So if a man's usually going to the extent of paying, and that's the thing. And I will say, because I watched this show, it's this show called Love Island. I don't know if you ever seen it before. It's this show called Love Island, and in the show, people are trying to find their love match. And some people go, I seen it was one episode particularly. This woman went to the extent of having intercourse with this man, and she only knew him for a couple of days. And she thought that that was going to win his heart, because he was saying that the whole time it was this other girl that in the little space that they was in, that he had his mind set on, and he was interested in her. And she thought using intercourse was going to be the reason to turn his head. And it wasn't enough. And the thing is, a man will make you think that. He will make you think that. So yeah, that's all I'm coming for now.
Kira says she agreed with the theme.
I know. I agree with Athema too.
And I got Kim on here, and Kim said no, a woman, but I didn't know which part she was talking about.
I do think she was talking about a woman being responsible for the hookup culture, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Um, and so what Lima said, she said a lot, but as far as that show, you see that she wanted to, have intercourse with him, but God, she saw he had his eye on somebody else. And we just got done talking about a woman being attracted to a man who has access to other women.
I'm sorry,
So,
I didn't get to finish my statement. I didn't get because she was starting to get like, but he made her think that if she gave it up, that he was going to choose her. And it was the words that he used. He was literally like, yeah, I've never met anybody like you, and I really think that you could turn my head. So
Yeah.
then it led to, which was is that to the point where it ended up having intercourse. So he made it seem like it was her that she was choosing. So she went that extra mile of giving him that, thinking that that was going to be a one up on a woman. So yes, it was her, but it also was him, because like I said, he made her think that with that being done, it was going to be her he was going to choose.
I see. That's where the dishonesty comes in at. That's where the dishonesty comes in at. That's.
but you're gonna have dishonesty. You're gonna have bad guys. Not every guy is gonna be a great guy. So he was just dishonest. She didn't gave up her body now. She didn't had intercourse. Is it really his? Is he really responsible?
Well, he wasn't truthful. They were both. They're both
But
responsible.
is he responsible?
He
Because she,
he went in misleading. He defrauded her. Yes, he do have to take some ownership in the role that he
And
played.
that's true. Yep. Yep, because like I said, he and that's you know what that's what made me continue to like him through the show because he said, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. He
Wow,
literally said, and he said he's like, I will take that. He was like, I shouldn't have did that because I played with two women and I played with her knowing dang well he wasn't gonna stay.
wow, wow. I see when you can take ownership of your mistakes, that's really big with me. But trying to eliminate those mistakes from the beginning is even bigger because if you would have started off telling her, and if you would have been honest from the beginning, she wouldn't have done that because she knew she had no chance. She knew she wasn't gonna be the chosen one. She wouldn't have did that. She wouldn't have gave herself to you because, like I said, when we do that, when the majority of us do that, the majority of us are doing it from feelings. We have some
But
type
I'm sorry, keep going. I didn't mean to cut you
of
off.
feeling or something for this guy that we would do that because we're not going to just give it to just anybody. Like a guy will, he will. Let me rephrase this. Some guys will be with any woman. Some guys will do that because it's just sex to them. It's just sex to them. But most of women, when we do it, it's because we have some type of an emotional involvement in it. Some type of feeling we have about it. It's some type of feeling. But I do think that if we know up front that hey, this is just a hookup, I'm not really serious about you, a lot of us probably would not even do it, especially if we know there's multiple of us. Because most women, I'm going to say this for me, I don't want something else that somebody else got. I don't want that man.
You want to take Casey?
Casey from Jodeci,
Mm-hmm.
but see, that's different. That's different. But not with somebody else. No, I don't. No, if he already with somebody, I don't want him.
No, not that he's with those people, but a lot of women like him, and if he wanted access to many of them, he could probably get access.
Asking me would I sleep with him, and I know he has multiple women to sleep with.
Would you sleep with him just the fact that he's KC?
Not now. Maybe back in the day.
Baby back in
Right
the
back
day.
in the day. No, I was kidding.
Oh man, see, and this is why I didn't want to cut you off, but now you said something, and I wanted to respond to that, but I forgot what you said. You were
Mom
speaking on.
brain. Look.
I know, right? I know. You said what was one of your points?
No, I was just
You,
mentioning about how she tried to do it with him strictly because she thought it was going to be him choosing her at the end of the day.
Oh, I know. So you did say that they only knew each other for a couple days, right?
Yeah.
So no, I'm not going for that. A
No,
couple days and the man is sold
no,
you
no, no.
enough to think that
In
he
the
wants to
show,
be with
it's
you
you
forever
coupling up.
and you hooked up off of that,
Like I said,
huh?
in the show things move a lot faster in the show. But I will say, I agree with the statement of you saying that women should find value in themselves, and I 100% agree that women can have the option to control the hookup. What was the word? The hookup.
culture.
Culture.
Culture. Thank you. The hookup culture. I definitely agree with that 100%. If a woman knew how to cover up, because at the end of the day, a nation can rise no higher than its woman.
Mm,
But the one man has to be able to lift the woman up as well. If you are downgrading women and making them think that the way to get you is to give intercourse, because some men won't even talk to a woman if she say, "Oh, it's 90 days or 60 days," and all that
right.
stuff. Some men won't even talk to a woman if she start talking like that. So the thing is, it can't
That's
just
why
like I
they're
said.
not. Yep.
Mhm. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, at the end of the day, yes, women have to find that value, but men has lost a lot of respect for women where they have found to got into the point where they have degraded themselves to the point where they feel like hooking up is a way. Because a lot of women who's hooking up, best believe. That's why I say I tell women all the time, you cannot do what a man does because no matter how much you think, oh, I'm not getting no feelings connected to this man by just sleeping with him, feelings are being there. Feelings are accumulating. You are taking his energy. A man does not take a woman's energy. A woman will take a man energy, and that's why, like I said, if a man is putting it out there or talking to a woman a certain way or something like that, it will make her. I don't believe a lot of these women out here that's hooking up are just hooking up just because they want to. A lot of women it's some, don't get me wrong,
It's so
there are some, but a
bad.
lot of them think
Yeah.
that they are getting that man from giving them their body. A lot
Yep.
of women think like that. They think that they can get a man just by giving them their body, because that's what the world making it look like.
You
Whoever
don't
got the
hear
biggest butt, whoever got the cutest outfit, whoever got the biggest boobs,
you
that's who's
don't
gonna get
hear
the man.
a lot of women saying, "Why can't we sleep with multiple men like men sleep with multiple women?" I
I,
do think women are giving it up and having hookup sex on their own because they be trying to do what men do. They feel like he can do it, I can do it too. So I do feel like that it's not really like, I believe it's more women participating in it than being misled.
No, I'm not saying misled. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the way that this world has created women into thinking that that is okay. Because, like I said, we have been degraded, the way that we are put it on TV, the way we are in the music videos. And that's why I'm just like, at the end of the day, that is what's being betrayed. So they think that it's like following a trend. You're following a trend pretty much. That's what a lot of women are doing nowadays. So I'm saying a nation can rise no higher than this woman, but it takes the man to help lift her up. And as long as they're degrading us, as long as they're making us think that, oh, we can't be these feminine women that we're supposed to be, making us think that we're supposed to expose our bodies, that making us think that we need to get on a video or be a gold digger and all that type of stuff. Like, no, it shouldn't get to that point. So like I said, it takes the two to have this problem, and it takes the two to solve it. It can't just be one. It
wow,
can't
that's
it,
powerful. That's
Do
powerful. It
do
takes two
you
to have this problem, and it takes two to solve this problem. I like that, Lima. I
I
like
like that too. I
that's powerful.
like that too. Man, I
crazy
forgot
too.
what I was gonna say again.
Dang it, Dosetta.
Oh, I forgot what I was about to say. Do you agree? I can't even remember. Let me ask both of y'all this question real quick. Mom first and you, Salima. Has a guy ever made you wait for sex?
Only because I, yes, only because he wasn't. He already knew that I wasn't. I wasn't. Who? Wow. Not very long, but yes. Not because we didn't want to, but because it wasn't right.
So you saying yes, a guy has made you wait to have sex.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever made a guy wait to have sex?
Yes.
Okay. Lima, what about you?
Um, Not wait, but has said no. So yeah, I never had nobody say like, "Oh, well, let's wait." No, but saying no, yes, I've had that.
Okay. Okay. And so one thing that was said was talking about the friend zone, men and women in the friend zone. Do you think that men and women can be friends?
Heck no, no,
I
no, no.
like that. The man friend that I did, yeah, I haven't had any.
You haven't. And if you did have any male friends, do you think that they would take the opportunity to sleep with you if they could?
Because we
It's
hooking up.
100%. Yep.
So what's stopping them?
That's why I said I haven't had any. I can't. I've the the guys that I know, uh, the friend that I knew, we hooked up.
We hooked up. And was there ever a moment that you didn't hook up? Like that moment up until you guys hooking up, why didn't you?
Because we were supposed to just be friends.
So what I'm s- so but if you had tried to at an earlier stage than before you actually did, do you think it would have happened?
Well, yeah, because I would have, yeah,
So men who are in relation or not in a friendship or in a friend zone or have a woman as a friend, you think he would have sex with her if he could?
I can only speak from my experience, but I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
So the majority of them, yes. I can't say all of them.
So why don't they?
I can't say that they haven't.
That's a good one, right? If they haven't, why do you think they haven't yet?
Maybe one of them are in a relationship. Um, maybe the other person know that even though maybe they don't want to be in a friend zone, and they know if they do this, they still gonna be in a friend zone. So why even do it?
Who you think will feel like that? The man?
It could be either one. It could be either one. A dude could say, "Oh man, I ain't messing with you, man. Come on now, come on now. You ain't trying to be with me. You ain't trying to be with me for real." Yeah, yeah, that could definitely happen.
Okay.
I don't think many men gonna say that.
But there are some. There,
There are some. I will say though that I think that yes, a woman, because I get where you're going with that, because yes, a woman can only, it will have to be the one to agree. If, because like you said, if the opportunity was presented, most men will take that opportunity. But like I said, like I keep reiterating, is that at the end of the day, if yes, he will take it, because I just feel like a lot of men are horn dogs. I'm sorry to say it, excuse my language, but I think they are. And at the end of the day, if you learn, like I said, that's why you have to learn that, to control your lower desires. And that's with anything. That's with absolutely anything. It's our nature to, like I said, consume food, water, all those type of things, but you cannot blame nature when you overindulge in it. You cannot blame nature for that. People gain weight, are obese, because they take advantage of the simple fact of saying it's nature for me to eat. It
or
is nature for me to do this and to do that. You cannot blame
Do you
nature
do
on that.
you think if a person was eating strictly from nature, since we talk about nature, that they could even get obese?
if they
But
overdo it, if they
They
over,
gon' they gonna eat too many. They gonna eat too many plants.
well,
the plant,
potatoes
it
can
don't
make you gain
plant,
weight.
Potatoes is man made. They ain't from nature. They don't even grow out the ground.
Well, even if that is the case. But I said I wasn't talking about nature
so how
just
about
by
that?
plants and stuff. I said nature is your nature to want to consume and eat food. That's what I'm saying. To eat. To that is a natural nature to have hunger and to have to feed that hunger. And that's the same thing with men and their lower desires. It's in your nature to want to feed that urge to have intercourse, and like you said, for reproduction. Yes, but you have to know how to control it. You cannot sit there and just say, "Oh, because I seen a girl with a big booty, I'm sitting here about to go and have intercourse with her." You cannot just say that and say that she urged me on, or because a late woman laid on the bed and said, "Let's come do it." I like to say, I know men. I know men who has said no. I know who men who has said, who say that, "Oh, a woman told me no and I made her say yes." I know men that say this. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, off of experience. I've experienced men who I'd be like, "Hey, hey, hey, how you doing?" And they'll tell me no real quick. I'm all like, at the end of the day, you cannot just say, "Oh, well," because it's in their nature. You cannot say it. We are God made man. We are the only ones on this earth. Ants, animals, insects, like reptiles, all of them have to go under the will of God. They cannot do anything out of their nature. They cannot do anything out of their nature. They have to stay on course. As soon as they go off of their nature, they die. The men, women, we are the only ones that can do whatever we want to do. We can make whatever decisions we want to make. So at the end of the day, you cannot blame anybody for what decisions you want to make. So, like I said, the hookup nature has come from both ends of the party saying, let's do this. I don't know if I went too
I
deep, and
just
I'm sorry.
I let me go to this real quick.
Basically, are saying genetically we're made up to want to have multiple partners.
Everything boils down to passing on our DNA. Every creature on this planet has an innate desire to reproduce, to pass on his information, right? Think about it. A woman is pregnant for 9 months at a time. So when a man impregnates a woman, typically you have sex, you impregnate her, right? Now we have so many reasons why that doesn't happen. Condoms, birth control. So our body's like, oh, I just got her pregnant. I'm off of her. Who's next? You know what I'm saying? Because we keep producing sperm. It's necessary for our species to thrive. Our species and the way that we're coded, it doesn't follow these man-made rules. It follows like nature. It follows those hips, those breasts. That looks conducive to planting my seed and it being fertile and it growing and giving me my fruit. So that's just how we're hardwired. No one's thinking about, I want a woman who can nurse my child. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking that, but your body is.
So, that's another man talking about, just the nature of a man. So I do understand what Salima's saying is that, we have the laws of nature, but just because we have the laws of nature, don't mean that, I guess, like you can have too much of something. You can have too much of anything. But I do feel like that maybe we need to go into the deeper study of men and women, because I feel like that a lot of things don't align properly in relationships, in society, in the world, because a lot of us are operating out of our roles that was intended for us to operate in, including, monogamy and being with one woman. That wasn't something that's always been like that. Monogamy, I don't know what year, I have to look it up, and I should have had that on here, but monogamy is something, that's man-made. God didn't put us here to be with one woman, or one person. Well, men to be with one woman. I ain't gonna say, because like he said, a woman can only give birth to one child in 9 months. She's not meant to keep having bodies. You got to go through postpartum. You got to go through everything. Your body is not even set up. Like, if we're meant to breastfeed our baby, that's why we really can't get pregnant while breastfeeding. We have to go through that whole stage. Our body isn't set up to have a baby again, which is why we're only supposed to be with one person. Where a man, he is here to reproduce. They want to depopulate the world, which is why they got birth control, condoms, and things like that. But if a man really did want to reproduce and have 5 children that he can financially take care of, lead the household, because that man, we're not talking about a man just going to sleep around. We talking, like, I'm pretty sure all of us, we know that we all are very valuable. Mom, Salima, we're very valuable. Men are having multiple women of value, not just women that sleep around, that has no value. Men are having multiple women who are valuable, who are nurturing, who are healers. And he's creating children with these women, and he's creating 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I really truly believe in the biology of a man, and that's what he's hardwired to do. How does he know that and experience that? Through relationships and sex. A man has to gain their value, where a woman is born with her value. We are born with our womb. We are born with the things we need. We are born nurturers and healers and things like that. A man is supposed to be a protector, a provider, a leader. He's not born that way. He has to gain his value and the things that make him a man through his experiences and through his life, where we were born with those things. And so I do, I understand all perspectives, and I just think that we should try to eliminate or lessen the hookup culture because we want more successful relationships, from relationships with two parent households and things like that. And so to keep us from, you know, being in this position and creating more one night stands, uh, babies with single parent households because the parents just hooked up and had sex, then we can start with what one of the things mom said, being honest about the intent when we're starting these things, on whether we're just hooking up or we looking for something more. But also, I do think that we as women hold the key to sex, and there's going to be bad guys that come along who has the power to sway us, who has the power to just look good enough, and we might be like, okay, I'm gonna give it to him. But we can have, if we raise our standards and not partake in that, then we can't eliminate it. Then that four women that one man is having sex with can go down to three women or two women, because he's not losing value by having sex with four women. He's not losing value, but we are losing value by hooking up with that man that we have no intent on being with any further past tonight. But he's not losing value, and I think that just shows that, because all women want the same man. That's just is what it is. Like someone said on the previous episode, we want the man that we see treating another woman right, who can get access to another. The woman wants him because he's doing something right, and it's not a lot of him. And so we all going for the same one. He's not losing any value. Only the woman is, when she's collecting more and more and having sex with men that she has no intent on marrying or being with past that night. Um, and so, yeah, but I definitely understand that it takes two to tangle. It takes two to tangle, but they will have nobody to tangle with if we say, not happening. And they can't tangle. They can't tangle if we say no.
Okay, I like that. They can't tangle if we say no.
And so yes, yes, yes. I really, yeah, that's all. It was a lot of more, many more comments on the post. I didn't go into all of them. No need to, but it's good to hear the different perspectives, because they truly make, a difference in how these things are viewed and how we move on with them and handle them for now and the future.
I
So
appreciate.
if you guys could close out and say anything. First of all, do you feel like the hookup culture should be limited or lessened, if not eliminated completely?
I'm not part of the hookup culture, so I can't. I don't think I agree with it, especially if it's. I don't know. Let me think about that. Let me think about that, because I can understand. You know, like we say, men are hunters and everything. That's fine, but I do also understand a woman may not want to be in a relationship. Maybe, but she do have some needs that she may. She got some sexual desires too, but that don't mean that she want to be settled down with no man. She may just want to just. But they
But
have.
you said you don't need intercourse for that. You said a woman could have.
That's why I said we got to. No, what I said was that we got to understand the word intercourse and sex, because a woman can have sex by herself, but sometimes women need intercourse. They need that entering.
Okay, thank you for that, Mama. What about you, Salima? Do you feel like it should be lessened? And if you do, what are some things you think we can do?
I definitely, I told you in before, I do not agree with hooking up at all. And that's strictly because, yes, I do believe that women, we take on the energy of men, every man that we are intimate with. So yes, I do believe, I feel like it should be demolished completely, because and that's why there are so many single mother households, There are children growing up without both parents in the household. And that is the reason for why this community, why the world is going in a downward spiral, because of the simple fact that there are no, because at the end of the day, it takes, it's the two that makes the household. So I feel like I said, I definitely believe it should be demolished. But women, we have to remember the value of ourselves. We are more valuable than the Hope Diamond, which is what's in the Titanic. And when you understand how valuable you are,
You're not gonna.
then you won't allow just any everybody to enter your space. And for men, they have to understand as well the value of a woman, because once they understand that, it's not just about recreating or having multiple children, or you say, oh, I want to recreate and all that type of stuff. It's not just about that. It's who you are recreating with. Because if you get with the wrong woman that doesn't have of the right mental states and things like that, you are going to recreate that as well. Because whatever the woman is thinking, however the woman is, that's what you do, but that's what you're going to recreate. So I definitely think the man have to understand the value in the woman as well. It's not just the woman understanding that in herself, because the thing is, it can be a man that can help a woman come out of a state of of that where if she's in a very lower state, a low state, a man can help bring a woman out of that. Can help a woman find, because if anyone knows me, that I will be the first person to say that I was a very masculine woman. I was aggressive. I was. I was like I said, I was out of my womanly state, my feminine state. And it did take a man to help me learn that not my value, not exactly my value. It took me to learn my value, but to respect my value and to
Wow.
bring me back into my feminine state, where I'm like, okay, you respect me as a woman, so I'm okay with being a woman. I'm okay with playing in my role and my and where I'm supposed to be at, and looking at the other men as less, and they can't have my space because I have a man that respects me and my value. So that's my comments. I'm sorry, I'll be long winded, y'all. Y'all know I don't talk to many people long.
I appreciate, I appreciate your feedback and your honesty and the way you look at things. That's deep. I
That
appreciate
was Yes, and that was very well said. And I think I said this on the last episode that I didn't value staying at home until Chris showed me that I was valuable staying at home.
that.
Now I knew my value,
Right.
but just to see that, you know, that he just to see him show me how I'm valuable and let me know that I'm valuable, I think, help it all come together, just to get back
A
into
100%.
being in my natural state and feminine and things like that. So I definitely agree with what you said, Salima. Thank you for that. Thank you guys
Of
for
course,
tuning
thank
in.
you, girl. Look, you be getting some fiery talk. That's why it's called fire talk, because it's some fiery conversations, girl.
Right, right, right. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your guys' time and your energy. I love you, Athema. I hope you sleep well. Thank you for letting me borrow your mommy.
I love you guys.
I love you too.
Love you
I will.
guys so very much. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Oh, cool. You're welcome back anytime.
Yes, you are.
Keep going. This is beautiful. It's beautiful to get this conversation out there. I think a lot of people need to hear it. I think it's beautiful. So praise be to God for this. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I will see you guys next time. I love you.
Love you too.
Yes, so I thank you for them coming on. I thank you for them coming on and sharing their perspectives. And so you might ask, who is responsible for the hookup culture? A lot of people will say both people are responsible for the hookup culture. And while both people may be responsible for the hookup culture, the only way that we can make now I'm not going to say the only way, one of the biggest ways we can make a change It's by knowing that we have and hold the key to sex. Women, value your body, value yourselves, raise your standards. Once you start doing those things, you will not be okay with just casually having sex with someone you have no intentions on being with or seeing a commitment with. Unless, like someone said, maybe it's just simply for pleasure and you guys know that you are hooking up. But if that's the case, please be mindful and aware of all the consequences that come on with that, from pair bonding to having another person that you have, shared your body with, to another experience that you have had. Please keep those all in mind. Yes, you can have sex for pleasure, but it's not just coming with the pleasure. So think before you do these things. Think before you're hooking up without no intentions on doing anything else. And know that you hold the key to sex. Know that. This is in the hookup culture, and this is as well in, as goes into far as marriage. We weren't really talking about marriage, but even in marriage, woman holds the key to sex. And so thank you guys for joining. Please make sure you guys go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I see a few people popping in on here now. Have came to an end. Unless anybody have anything else to say, I will be getting off of here. This definitely was a great conversation. Yeah. Well, until then, I will see you guys next time.
Girl, you done made me sit up now.
Speechless? Why you speechless?
I just said because it's like I'm like with a celebrity couple right now. Like,
Oh my God. Get out of here. Get out of here.